Big tech has become certainly that flight to safety, but your stocks aren't necessarily huge tech, and they have done incredibly well. Why do you think the market psychology is so pointed with a laser focus on tech away from anything that's not related?
Well, I think the market's beginning to understand how deflationary the Fed's monetary policy has been. And we're also seeing a lot of problems with the bank regulation or oversight, shall I say. And so there's a bit of a flight away from value, away from anything cyclical. We own no banks, we own no energy, and you see what's been happening to energy prices. There was already a lot of cash built up in the system, and I'm sure there's more building up now, but by some measures, near record cash. And so there could be a rotation back to our style, which was hit horribly, as everyone knows, from February of 21 through December by fear of higher interest rates. I believe that the fear of higher interest rates is dissipating. With the exception of Larry Summers and Mohamed El-Erian, I just do not understand. We have a banking crisis here, and the right thing to do, and what the bond market is signaling that the Fed must do, is cut rates and cut them severely.
I don't know if you believe Jay Powell, and certainly you believe what the European Central Bank telegraphed yesterday by raising rates 0.5% ahead of our meeting next Wednesday. You know, we may not see that. Maybe a pause, because we do see Fed funds futures banking in more of a pause at the moment, or betting on it. But let me focus right now on what you've been buying this week, because there have been a lot of stocks that actually have not done well across the board that you probably have had your eye on. Is there anything that you've been adding to as far as positions?
Well, recently, when we felt Coinbase was so misunderstood, and when it seemed like the banking regulators were blaming crypto for what's going on right now, which is not the case at all, we actually thought, no, we think that crypto assets could be a beneficiary, a flight to safety asset. And we also see that in the case of Coinbase, it is, despite what a lot of people think, it is trying to be as regulatory compliant as possible with this new asset class, while at the same time educating the regulators what this new asset class is all about. And it was a good move, because the last week,
114% higher year to date for Coinbase, and in the last week alone, it is up 42%. Are you buying any other crypto-related companies?
Well, we've also put some money into Block. Many people know it as Square, because there's a Bitcoin link there as well. Block is very supportive of the Bitcoin developer community, and is starting to develop new products around Bitcoin, which will be its Trojan horse into other countries. So we're pretty excited by that one as well.
Yeah, that one's gained about 4.5% week to date. But regarding crypto, Cathie, how can crypto be thought of as a safety haven when the safety turns out to be the new kid on the block, cryptocurrency, that has yet to prove its endurance? And considering we've seen an implosion of Silvergate and some of the other crypto-related names lately, how can you simply say that that is the right move to safety?
Well, when we did our first white paper on Bitcoin, it's still up on our site, and Art Laffer, my mentor and friend, actually helped us with it. Very, very strong, not only in fiscal policy, tax policy, but also monetary policy. And as we were taking him through what this is, he, at one point, after reading the paper and digesting it, he said, wow, this is what I've been waiting for the last 50 years, since we went off the gold exchange standard. Mm-hmm. And I said, it was only a $6 billion cap back then. Now it's up to nearly $500 billion. And I said, Art, how big could this be? And he said, well, how big is the monetary base? And at the time, the monetary base here in the United States was 4.5 trillion. Today, we're closer to 8 trillion, maybe a little bit below that. And so what he was really saying is, this is, and each one of these words is important. The first global, private, no government oversight, digital, rules-based monetary system. It's decentralized, it's transparent, it's auditable. And it hasn't skipped a beat through all the crises, starting with the crypto crises last year. Those crises and the companies and protocols that went under, they were opaque and centralized. FTX, in fact, Sam Bankman-Fried doesn't even like Bitcoin, or didn't like Bitcoin. Why? Because it's totally decentralized, fully transparent, and he was the master of the universe and thought he could control everything. Well, so we think it's a flight to safety, and it's a great insurance policy.
At the moment, it is up 7%. Bitcoin is gaining $1,800 and change, 26,812. We want to know from Cathie, coming up, who she really blames. And speaking of transparency, the Fed discount window hasn't been transparent. But what is the future of, at least the near future, of what's going on in the current banking mess?